Hello everybody. Hi Elaine. Hi Karen. Hi Jordan. I hope everybody's doing good. We had about a cold here yesterday. I mean, honestly, it was almost time to turn on the heater, but fortunately it didn't get to that. I just baked something and it was warm enough, but temperature yesterday morning at sunrise it was below 50 and the highs were in the lower 60s. Right now it's a little bit better. It's gonna go up to like 78, I think. Let me check. And I do need to 76. Right now it's 59. I will have to go and get some stuff to the curb because tomorrow is our bulk stuff. Hello, the other Karen, the second Karen. But I didn't do it yet because it was too cold for me to go around outside and do stuff. Anyway, I said that I was going to show you how to do easy stuff for Halloween using molds, and not just using molds but also using other easy stuff. So the thing that you see on my screen right now, you can find it on my Amazon influencer store, and let me actually get it for you. I got everything else ready, but this I didn't put up the link. Okay, so if you go in my influencer store, that would be this one, and you look in the molds for polymer clay. Let's get onto it. You will find it all the way at the bottom. If you scroll all the way down, is this one. It's $8. It's got like 10 different molds on it, and we're gonna work with it today. And then there's this one that's also good to do all other kinds of stuff. Now, one of the things that I have to tell you about this specific one, I know I have at least one of these somewhere around the house, but I have no idea where it is, because I did use it in the kitchen. I never used it with polymer clay. I used it in the kitchen, and I used it with sugar paste, and I put this stuff on cookies that I had to bring. I mean, it was several years ago, before the pandemic. And I used sugar paste that I bought off of Amazon. Of course, you can make your own if you want. And when the cookies are cooled off, you just get all these, and you use a blade exactly like for polymer clay to get all of this stuff off, and use a brush with a little bit of water on the back, and then you stick them on the cookies. Okay, and as you can see here, you can put them on cupcakes as well. But getting back to, let me get back. Hi Cherry, hi Petrina, hi Darla, hi Silver Moon Designs, hi Sharon, hi Hirasuna, hi Ilyanka. So let's see what we can do. And also I want to show you these. I got them a while ago. I couldn't find them anymore on Amazon, but maybe you can find them somewhere else. These are actually ice cube stuff. You can use them with resin, of course. I would suggest that for these you use the 2 parts resin. And then if you don't have any of these, but you have the old style faces of Sculpey, I don't know why they don't make it anymore. You can still find them sometimes on Etsy, or any other kind of face mold. I'll show you how to make this into a skull. Hi Petrina, hi Mona, and let's go first. I think I presented to you this before, but the other things that you can, I forgot to show you, you can also find at give me a second here. I am so bad. I closed some stuff that I wasn't supposed to close. There we go. So if you go on PolyClay Play, there's some stuff that I don't have, but you might want to get and use. So if you search Halloween, you can see that she has this Halloween mold that can be used for various kind of things. As you can see, there's the pumpkin and cat and all kinds of other things that you can use. This is very easy to use as candy corn. And then this one, she's out of stock, but there's also a skulls and bones that's a little bit, because it's one of those Premo marketing things, that's more professional if you want. But with this one you can actually, as you can see, it is a double. This one and this one are doubles, so you can put them together and actually string them, so you can have a full skull and bones necklace. So getting back to our thing. Hi Sandra. So let's get back to this. Now I am preparing a tutorial with a blackout, but I didn't use it for this. You can use it for your scrap clay. Mix it with blackout, and it requires only like 1/8 a blackout to make all your scrap clay black. But I'm going to use just plain black clay. So you do like for any other mold. What I always like to do, first of all, your depending on the type of mold you have, see this one is practically a sugar paste one, and I explained before the main difference between the sugar paste molds and the polymer clay molds. Let me show you once again, actually, just to so here I have sugar paste molds and polymer clay molds, and yes, I use a tackle box for my molds. Now this is a polymer clay mold, and I know it looks all messed up, it's old and I've used it so many times. And this is a sugar paste mold. Before it was the thing that anytime you would see pink, it was for polymer clay. Now pretty much every time you see pink, it's for sugar paste. But it's not, you cannot say anymore, because sometimes, especially on Amazon, when you have Chinese sellers, they make the color lighter, so you don't realize. But just to give you an example, these are both pink, both pretty bright pink. I will show it to you here in a second. But this one is for polymer clay, this one is for sugar paste. But what I wanted to show you, essentially, polymer clay, it's fairly strong, it doesn't bend easy. Sugar paste, and you can see how much thicker it is than the polymer clay one. Try to do this with this one, I can't. But again, as an example, this is sugar paste. It's soft, it's very soft and very pliable. Polymer clay is not as soft, is not as pliable. It does have a little bit of give because it's necessary for you to be able to remove stuff. Unfortunately, all these yellow ones, where I got them from an Etsy years ago, but I haven't seen her selling on Etsy anymore. I mean, she was part of the wave that left Etsy after the big changes. I think they were back in 2015, 2016. Hi, Francis. But essentially, that's the main thing. And why it is important, it is important when you do that, when you use your blade to remove stuff. This is the blackout that I'm talking about. I think Susan Turtle Soup Beads presented in one of her tutorials. This is just to color your scrap clay black, and it is very good because you can use it for silver, you can use it for all kinds of effects with pastes and yes, the sugar paste ones, yes, you can. And you'll see that the ones that can be used for resin, I kind of added them in my influencer store. You can see I have them separate, polymer clay and resin, but the whole idea is what's the difference? The resin molds are way shinier than the polymer clay ones. There are some that are good for resin too, and I put them in the resin because they are much harder to use with polymer clay. But some of them you might find them both in the resin and in the polymer clay section. And yes, I do have these also. They are somewhere in my carts. But yeah, so getting back to, let me close this. I have a ton of tabs on my screen. I do get ads now. I'm sorry, but I had to turn on the ads. And not only I do get ads, but you can actually donate here. Even if I encourage to donate, if you want to help me, I encourage you to donate on either on my website or on my blog, because if you donate here, YouTube gets half of the money, and it takes a while for me to get them. But I had to. No, the molds for sugar cannot be put in the oven, and not pretty much very few molds for polymer clay can be put in the oven. The only ones that you can be sure that can go in the oven are the molds for liquid clay. Those will last, but otherwise not a lot of them can be put in the oven. Now if we look at this, and I'm gonna zoom so you can see. It doesn't say here, but it says on the website. It's 1 part of blackout for 8 parts of scrap clay, and you'll see pretty soon, I hope, the tutorial I'm taping for this. But you can use this to use just scrap clay, and yes, PolyClay has it, PolyClay Play, and it's easier to get it from PolyClay Play than from Amazon. It's a little bit cheaper. Yes, unfortunately the cost of life has raised a lot, and I have to, I mean, remember, I live on disability, and it's not much. Even if they raised the disability a little bit, they adjusted, it's still $880 a month, so it's not that much. So as I was saying before, in order to use these, and let me grab a rigid blade, because you need a rigid blade for this. Yeah, I don't think that no, you see 23 viewers, Karen. You have to look at the likes. Okay, so you first start with a bead, and you need to roll the bead. I'm not sure if it updates unless you reload the screen. Okay, so you roll the bead until you don't see any more folding lines. See, like I have a tiny folding line right here. I hope you can see what I'm talking about. So you roll, and then you can squish it a little bit to get on the okay. Now I lost my. I'm working on some stuff. I want to prepare the next destash, and it's a mess here because I'm putting backs on various things I made. And for slicing canes, you go to PolyClay Play, and it's like under $5. You get a set that is one of these, that's an 8-inch, super thin, fine and sharp blade. That's perfect for mica shift and mokumegane. And then a 4-inch one in this little case, that is my favorite for slicing, because you can see it's very thin and you can slice to perfection. But yeah, it doesn't really cover much. My luck was that when I became disabled, my house was paid off and my car was paid off, and I didn't have a credit card debt. So okay, so let's grab this one, and I'm only making it this wide because, as you can see, this thing is not very deep. Okay. Okay, then I'm placing it. You can use a little bit of Armor All on it, and then I'm going flat. But my main thing before starting to slice, I'm going to use my acrylic block and press real hard. I have some friends who have no, the Mega Blade is this one that you get from hold on, from Tiny Pandora. This one is very rigid and it's quite thick, the Mega Blade. I have some friends who have problems with the strength in their hands, like I do, worse than me though. So, hi Elizabeth. So they put stuff on the floor and then they step on it. But you know, you do whatever you can if it helps you do stuff. So I'm going to use the same pivot blade that Lisa Pavelka showed how to use to make the satin slice. And you start first, you do a rough trim. And actually, one thing that I should have done was to get some arm roll on my blade so it doesn't drag on the clay. That's one of the main things you need to remember whenever you do mica shift. Moku megane, look what I did. Damn it. But of course, with the cold, I started getting all kinds of pains and things. And I need to put some on my fingers too. My fingers are sticky. Yeah, I'm not very good at this today. Let me try the thin one. Yeah, I've been having lately pains in things I didn't, in areas I didn't know I had bones and joints and stuff. I mean, of course I'm kidding, but there we go, we got one. And the good part is that I'm getting my booster on the 14th. Not the booster, the bivalent. So finally on the 31st. Well, I don't know, I have to go back and look, because I knew that I know for a long time I kept my channel ad free for a long time, like 4 years, 5 years. I only turned on the ads at the end of July. Okay, so we get this off, and we have this crappy things that you cannot see much of of it, but actually let me grab my other. I've got all kinds of boxes on and stuff on the floor because I'm putting stuff and picking stuff up. I remember I told you that I have several totes full of canes. Okay, so we can use either one of these Opal Magic ones, and let's do the royal robes because they are the most, actually blue velvet is the most purple. And just do the raised parts. And then you see the skeleton hand coming to life, so to speak. But this is better to do after you bake it. Or you can use a more color thing, and of course you can use acrylics. Just remember to use the dry rub thing where you put some paint on a paper towel, and then you put your finger there, and then you wipe a little bit your finger because it has to be almost dry, and that way you only get the very top. But this is the Firebird, and it's bright orange. And there you go, we have a better look at the skeleton hand. And what can you do with this? You can make a pendant, obviously. You can make earrings. This is all the metallics, the metallic line. Then there's also the it's Art Alchemy. There's also the Antique Brilliance line, and then there's the Opal Magic line. And they are all beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So all you have to do with this, obviously, is to put it here, and generally speaking, I just go with first making the top and then making the backing. Get it on the top from the back, obviously. Yeah, you can find them at PolyClay. There are some on Amazon, but they are usually more expensive. Let me see. Trish has them at, so go look in the paints, varnish and waxes. Let me see, let me bring all of them out. And these are the best waxes that I've ever worked with. So you can see this is the metallic line, and the colors are gorgeous. If you want, I can bring my boxes with them, because I kept buying, you know, one or two this month, one or two the other month, and I got them all. Some of my most favorite ones are the Indian pink that I actually have here on my table, the mint sparkle, the Firebird that I just showed you. But all the colors are beautiful. Then this is the Antique Brilliance, that's also gorgeous. And then the Opal Magic. Lately they started presenting them in tubes instead of these little tins, but they are all gorgeous, absolutely fabulous. Now if you follow actually if you follow my my affiliate link, when you first get on the store, it will automatically be there. But if you forget, and yeah, if you email Trish, she will know. Okay, so I'm going to grab some black. It's actually on the third setting on the Makins machine, and you can use, it doesn't really matter what let me see what I have close. Actually you can use Makins. So I'm gonna just use one of the old Makins ones. One of my most favorite is not this one, it's the bearded stuff. Curly Beard, I think it's called. So as usual, you need to put it with the little curls sticking out. And yeah, it's from the credit that I get that I do those gift certificates giveaways. And of course, when you buy stuff from my Amazon and whatever is a surplus to gift certificate, I get myself materials with it. So I put some armor all on the clay, and this can actually get in the pasta machine, or better, for better prints. Actually, let me go with it one more time. Alrighty, so as I said, it doesn't really matter what it would all. Why would you want to do the blackout clay additive when you have black liquid clay? Okay, now this one I need this rigid one. So let's get this away. And grab a this would be it. And then I'm going to first measure it and then wax it. So nice and easy. And if you press it against the base cabochon, it's going to adhere enough. Not right now when you're measuring it, but when you're done measuring it. Okay, so this should be it. I measured it. And then I'm going to then you use the interference blue mica powder for that in clear, and you use the same for resin. You don't use clay. You don't get because the interference will give you that milky bluish. Okay, so now I'm taking it out, and as I said, they started presenting them in tubes. So this is the old silver one. And then once this is baked, you can reinforce the wax, let it set for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then you buff it and it will look like metal. Exactly like metal. Okay, so let's put this back. And this time you do make sure that it's well set against the clay in the cabochon. And then once you're done, you simply remove it from the mirror and you slap a backing on it, and the whole idea is that it's going to help you making sure everything is. It's going to help you nicely. So let's get back on here. And I'm doing stuff to completely mask the joint here. And there you go, you have a very pretty now. Let's try another one. Let's say this one is deeper, and I used this one when we did the Halloween mug last year. I used this, but we can use, I mean, these are all really neat. This is the pirate flag, this is a skull with a crown, this is Baron Samedi from the Santeria mythology. This is just a rib cage. This is a skeleton bride. This is a skull with in a tuxedo, and this is a skeleton with two heads, simplified skeleton with two heads, right? So another thing that you can do, and it's actually pretty nifty, let me make sure that I have enough. Yeah, you can make brooches, you can make, and see, some of these are smaller, so they are great for earrings. Yeah, maybe, but it definitely, once it hardens, it doesn't come out. All the other waxes that I like, for example, the Gilder's paste is a hit and miss. Sometimes it hardens, sometimes it comes off when you try to buff it. Okay, so this one is a little bit deeper, so so again I'm going to grab, oh yeah, I forgot that the poison apple is really neat and really good for earrings, as is the pirate's flag, the skull and bones. And with this I'm going to show you two variants that you can use actually. This would be the simple variant. Let me grab the thin one. And you can treat it exactly like the one before. Right, so I'm gonna use the Indian pink, which is kind of mauvish, but I'm gonna use some royal robes on top of it. See how macabre it looks. No, not really. It's better to use a mirror if you put UV resin in the lamp, but I just use mirror tiles because it's hard to find small tiles. I usually have the longish ones. They're about this big, about twice the size of a mirror. I mean in length, like two mirrors. But these ones, these mirrors are perfect for like a pair of earrings or one pendant or stuff like that. Okay, and I said I'm going to use some royal robes on it too. And that's the thing, the Opal Magic ones are waxes are transparent, so you can put them on top of other stuff. I did at one point, there is a tutorial I made with these waxes and Prima marketing mold for furniture accents. Give me just a second, I'll find it for you. Okay. It's called Princess of Darkness. And I used these. This is the mold. That's actually for accents on furniture. And then I used the I first made the backing and everything, and then I put rhinestones on it, and then excuse me, it's these waxes. I remember that I used Mystic Amethyst and Turquoise Satin with Mystic Turquoise and Amethyst something, and Turquoise Satin and Blue Velvet. But this was the it's beautiful as an evening something. See? So yeah, come on. Alrighty, so this is one variant that you can make this with, but I'm going to show you another variant for this, and I'm going to use first some white. Make sure that this stuff is good. I'm going to first use some white and get the mold. The same as for the black. I first make a bead and place it in. I need more. Hey, don't run. I know it seems like it doesn't cover everything, but that is just fine because that's exactly what I want. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to press against the tile this time to make it stick to the tile. Okay, then the next thing is I'm going to gently remove it. Just slice the skull off the base. And see, it's not perfectly stuck here. I'm going to oh, come on, stay there. Doesn't want to stick to the tile for some reason. Let me grab the long one. Okay, so I removed the white and I have a little A few nicks here that need to be removed. And you can use it as is, or you can place it on a backing. But before doing anything, let us go ahead and age it a little bit. So first of all, I'm going to place some black in the orbits, obviously. So first a little bit of black. Yeah, I know, that's the thing. Okay, this should be enough. And I need a thin paintbrush. This is a paintbrush that was a normal paintbrush, but I just trimmed it down to make it very thin. Remember exactly how I did last Sunday with the raven skull. Now what I'm going to do is to get some gray and some beigeish. No, it sounds like, doesn't sound like something we usually do, but for bone, but yeah, that's going to be just fine. Then I'm going to first use some gray, mainly on the teeth, and some here. Yes, I do have some black there. And you can use that. Oops, okay, that was not what I intended to do. It can come off with the tape. You can use the trick with the hair to create small small fractures in the bone. And you can put just a pinch of black on here. And in the nose. Okay. Let's get this off and grab the tape. No, the wax is just perfect. I usually put the some wax before I bake, and then just add a little bit to it after I bake. And just to make it a little bit brighter. And insist on the teeth. It doesn't matter what molds you got. And you can do all kinds of things. You can add rhinestones in the skull, obviously. And then you can use practically any kind of cut, whatever you decide. So this should work. just fine. So let's grab it, place it on black, and then cut. What the heck is this? Darn it. Okay, and here we have another thing that you can also make a one of those bezels with. Now, as I said, if you have one of the old faces thingies, you can use it, and I'm going to pick one that is got this and this variations, and you can see they both look awesome. So I'm going to grab the, trying to find here what I put the extra. And it's okay, you see my fingers are messed up or colored from the black. Yes, I did. I actually, there's in the, I made skulls from clay for earrings and the pendant. Now, but I know that trying to sculpt, even when somebody shows you how to, it can be hard. So that's why I decided to give you a little tutorial to use with molds and all kinds of other stuff. Now remember, you can always use acrylics instead of these waxes if you cannot afford the waxes. So let me choose the most clear. Yeah, my white is messed up, I know. The problem that exists with this specific mold is that it's hollow here. So whenever you press, you're gonna have some issues. So usually whenever I worked with it, I would hold it on the back and just press with my fingers, with my thumbs, to make sure that I get enough. And then again, make sure that I have my blade wiped with Armor All, so it wouldn't drag on the clay. Thank you so much. Yeah, those almond cabochons are, that mold is one of my most favorite ones, especially for making 4 gemstones. I'll put something under here. This was not one. I mean, I'm not, honestly, I'm not that surprised they don't make this specific mold anymore, but I think they should revamp it with better materials and bring it up, because as mold it was awesome, and a lot of people like moon faces jewelry. Okay, so now all you need for this is, so this would be the moon face, right? All you need for this is a ball stylus and your X-Acto knife. So we're gonna first do the skull orbits, right? Yeah, as I said, you can still find it sometimes. I know what I'm doing. I'm just simply flattening the lips here. And let's cut this nose off and do a small cut with the X-Acto knife in a triangle. That's removing the nostrils and creating the big. And the next thing you do is cut here and here, cut here and here, and then turn the X-Acto knife with the dull part in. This actually has to be a little bit more effaced. And let's make the teeth. And now we have a skull instead of a face. Make sure that this is all nice and coming against. But yeah, as a general idea, making a skull by itself, it's super easy, at least it seems to me. And there you go, we have a skull now. But just to make a skull by itself, you make a bead. Yeah, pretty much that. You make a bead, round again, and this time don't worry about the fold lines, because those would be little fractures in the bones, but gently make it tear shaped just a little bit, and then you can go ahead and flatten it. Do this. Ball stylus, triangle, so this is an overly simplified skull that you can make, especially for children stuff. You can make a ton of these, and you can make your own mold for this, or you can make just by hand several of these and adorn a mug for a child. Then again with the dull side, and there you go. That's a skull, simplified skull. This is also good. You can make it smaller to make a magic wand. You can make all kinds of other stuff, but as you can see, these are all things that are easy to make if you have a mold, even if you don't have a mold, if you have these waxes, or you just have plain acrylics. So there's a lot of ways to create fast and fairly easy Halloween stuff that can be worn on Halloween day. and have fun. I hope you enjoyed this. Next Sunday will not be any more Halloween themed, because we are getting into the Thanksgiving stuff. So I thought of making some decorations for Thanksgiving, or I don't know, maybe even jewelry, or we'll have something that will be fall themed anyway. Okay, thank you so much. Don't forget to thumbs up, and please don't forget to use my affiliate links. They are on my about tab on my channel, on my website, on my blog, and on the Facebook. And I just hope you have a great time making any of these. Thank you so much for being my subscriber and for being with me here all this time. I love you. Bye.